inter-VLAN routing and VLAN trunking protocol. Now first, inter-VLAN routing. So this inter-VLAN routing can be also defined as a way to forward traffic between different VLANs. That means we want to send the traffic to two different VLANs, between two different VLANs. Two different VLANs by implementing a router in the network. And VLANs logically segment the switch into different subnets. So as we have seen, when we create the VLAN, what happens? It divides the single segments of broadcast into multiple segments. So when a router is connected to a switch, an administrator can configure the router to forward the traffic between the various VLANs configured on the switch. So the user nodes in the VLANs forward traffic to the router, which then forwards the traffic to the destination network, regardless of VLAN configuration on the switch. Now, packet sent from here, if you see in this design, we have a switch. On the switch we have two VLANs, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. And in VLAN 20 we have this machine PC A, and VLAN 30 we have this PC B. Now they are in different network. This PC A is in 192.168.20.0 network, and this one is in 192.168.30.0 network. So both are different network and in different VLANs. So they cannot do communication. They cannot do communication directly through the switch because their IP network is different. Their VLANs are different. So if you communicate between these two machines, that means we can say that we want to do communication between two different VLANs. But VLAN means what? We create VLANs because we have subnets. We have created subnetting and we divide the subnets in different departments. And now we want them to be connected. So basically we create VLANs because what? We have already done the subnetting. And after doing the subnetting, because the subnetting is in layer 3 thing, that is IP, and PC, the switch does not understand IP addresses. Instead we have done the subnetting. Still switch will transfer the data broadcast from one network to other network. It will drop, it will not accepted by the other network because it's a different subnet, but still it will send by the switch. So if we want to block that, then we create VLANs. So when we say we want to communicate between two different VLANs, that means we are saying that we want to do the communication between two different networks. So what we can do, we can connect the router here, we can connect two different networks. And in router, in this situation, I have these two links, and one link is for one VLAN, other link is for other VLAN. So in this case, what happened? Packet sent from the PC A to PC B leaves the PC A with the VLAN 20 tag. So when it leaves here, from here, it will have a tag of VLAN 20. Then when it gets to the router 1, the router changes the format of this message from VLAN 20 to VLAN 30, and it then sends it back to the switch, and the switch finally sends the message to its intended recipient, that is PCB. So there are two ways in which inter-VLAN routing can be accomplished. So there are two ways. First is the traditional inter-VLAN routing, and the other way is router on stick. So if we want to do the traditional way, in this type of inter-VLAN routing, a router is usually connected to the switch using multiple interfaces. That means each interface for one VLAN, that means one for each VLAN. And the interfaces on the router are configured as the default gateways. So the interface of the routers are configured as a default gateway for all the machines in that VLAN. Then the ports that connect to the router from the switch are configured in access mode in their corresponding VLANs. And when a user node sends a message to a user connected to a different VLAN, the message moves from their node to the access port that connects to the router on their VLAN. and when the router receives the packet, it examines the packet destination IP address and forward it to the correct network using the access port from the for the destination VLAN. Now the switch now can forward the frame to the destination node since the router changes the VLAN information from the source. So VLAN to the destination VLAN in this form of a inter VLAN routing, the router has to have as many LAN interface as the number of VLANs we have. Therefore, if a switch has 10 VLANs, the router should have the same number of LAN interfaces. So in that case, if a PCA in this design, if you see in the image, if PCA in VLAN 20 wanted to send the message to PCB in VLAN 30, first PCA would check whether the destination IPv4 address is in the VLAN of it is not. It would need it forward the traffic to its default gateway, which is the IP address of this interface. So for example, I will show you. So how it works here. Now here we have a switch which has two VLANs 20 and 30. This machine is connected to this VLAN, this machine is connected to VLAN 30. Now when we do this, we need to interface on router. Each interface for that particular VLAN. That means the interface which is connected to the switch for this VLAN 20, we will add that port on a switch, we will add that port into that VLAN. Then the port which is for VLAN 30, we will add that port into on the switch, we will add that port into VLAN 30. So whatever the data it comes, it can go to all the machines of VLAN 30. Then all the machines in their particular VLANs, they will have a gateway of their interface. That means in this interface which is for VLAN 20, we will configure the IP address of this network which is in VLAN 20, and the IP address will be the gateway for every machine in this VLAN, and the IP address of this interface which is connected to VLAN 30 will be the IP address of the network which we have in VLAN 30, and all the machines in that VLAN will have a gateway as this IP of router. Now when we send a data, if we want to communicate within the VLAN, then we can communicate with this network. So network, it will remain in the same network, it will not go to other VLAN or other network, because this is different VLAN and this is different. They are in different VLANs and different network. But suppose if PCA wants to connect to PC2, if it wants to send some data, then what happens? First, when PCA wants to send the data to PCB, so first it checks the IP network first. So the network of this PCB is 192.168.30, and the network of the PCA is 192.168.20. So first the PCA says that this is not belong to our network. That means if it is not belong to the network, then the data must go to the router. So what it will do, it will check the gateway. It will check what is the gateway IP it has. So the gateway IP is of this interface of router. So it will send the data to the gateway. So because the gateway is also in the same VLAN, data will reach to this interface of router. Now here, router will do what? Router will check the packet, check the source IP, check the destination IP. Source IP is this network 20, destination IP is network 30. Now router checks its routing table. Where is this network? Now in the routing table of the router, it will find that the network is on this port, this interface. So it will do what? It will send data on this interface. Now it will go to the data will go to the switch, and it will go to the VLAN which is 30, because the port is, or the interface of the router is also connected to VLAN 30, and then it will go to this machine, because this machine is also in the same VLAN. So this is what a simple configuration. Here we don't have to do anything. We just have to configure the router with the different interface for the different VLANs. Now the problem here in this design is like if you are having 10 VLANs on the switch, then what? You need 10 different interfaces for VLANs. That means you need 10 physical interfaces of VLAN, like you need 10 different interfaces on router for each and every VLAN. And in case if it is 20 VLANs you have, then you need 20 interfaces. So sometimes it is difficult to have that much port on routers. But this is what the traditional way of doing the inter-VLAN routing. This is how the data goes and flows from one machine to other machine in this. So what happened here? It will check the gateway and send to the router PCA, then sends an ARP request to switch 1 so as to determine the physical address of the router. That means first, when it does not know the MAC address of the router port, then first it will send the ARP, address resolution protocol request, to get the MAC address of the router interface. That is the interface, the gateway interface, which is router's fast Ethernet 0/1. It will do first ARP request, then when it gets the data, get the MAC address, then it will attach the MAC address to the packet and send it to the router. And then by seeing the MAC address, switch will forward the data to the router's interface. And when the router receives the frame, it compares the destination IP address by referring to its routing table so as to know to which interface it should send the data towards the destination node. So it will check that where this network is located, network 30, in which interface in routing table, and according to that it will know that which network port it has to, which interface it has to send the data. Now router also need to know the MAC address of the destination machine in that interface which is connected to that network or that VLAN. So router will also run the ARP request for getting the MAC address for that VLAN. And in this case it is fast Ethernet 0/1. Then switch receives the packet. This ARP requests are broadcast requests, so it will go to everyone, and PCB will reply, and PCB will reply with this MAC address, and it will reach to the router, and the router will know the MAC address. Then router will attach the MAC address in the frame, and then it will send it to the switch, and switch will send it to the PCB. Now we will configure inter-VLAN routing on the router and the switch using the scenario all the VLANs are active and the PCs have been assigned port. Our configuration will only be limited to the router's inter-VLAN configuration and the switch port connecting to router 1. The first step is to configure the switch port to access the specified VLAN. Fast Ethernet 0/1 to VLAN 20 and Fast Ethernet 0/2 to VLAN 30. And this is accomplished using the command shown below. So you will do just what first? The port which is we have on the router, we connect them to the switch and add them into their respective VLANs by using this switch port mode command. And then this is the only configuration on the switch we do, and once this is done, save the configuration and move to the router. Now on router we need to configure its interface with the default gateway corresponding to the VLANs, and we accomplish this using the command like this by just giving the go to the interface and configure the IP. This IP will be the gateway for all the machines inside that network on both the interfaces. And we can examine the routing table by using the show IP route command. It will show both the network connected. That's it. We don't have to do anything else to configure this traditional way. Let's do this, how we can do this. So let's see how we can do this. Now in this design, what I have here, I have 3 VLANs here. in this particular switch, and these 3 VLANs are connected to the switch, and these two machines are on those VLANs. I have one more switch there, and I have configured trunking between those 2 switches, and these switches of this switch also has the same VLAN. Now that's it. Whether it is one switch or other switch, if we connect the router only on one switch, so both switch will work. Now what I need a router, and in that router I need 3 Ethernet ports. 3 Ethernet port for all these three VLANs, because I have these 3 VLANs. So for each VLAN I need 3 interfaces for configuring the traditional routing, a traditional inter-VLAN routing. So I will use a router which is modular router. So I will go for the router first. I'll go with this, and on this router so we have 2 fast Ethernet ports. I need one more for the third switch. So I will go here. I will switch off the router, and then I will find the switch off the router, then I will find a port for fast Ethernet. So we have this this I will use this one, and this one is Ethernet. No, it is Ethernet. I need fast Ethernet. So I will search for yes, these are 2 fast Ethernet ports, and I enable the switch, enable the router. I start the router. Now on this router I have 4 Ethernet ports, and I have 3 VLANs, so it is enough for me. Now I will do what? I will connect all the 3 ports for these 3 VLANs. So for that I will go to the connections, and I will go for connections. Then I will connect one port, then I will connect the other port, then I will connect one more port. So what I did here, I connected 3 ports. So I connected 3 cables to the switch, and I connected what? Routers fast Ethernet 0/0 to switch fast Ethernet 0/10, and routers 0/1 is connected to 0/20 of switch, and routers 1/0 is connected to switch 0/24. So this is what these 3 connections are there, and 3 connections are for 3 different VLANs. And also I will decide like this is for which VLAN. So the first port of the router, I will give that port to this VLAN A. Second one will go for VLAN B. Third one will go for VLAN C. So what we'll do here first on the switch, I will configure these ports of the switch to those particular VLANs. Like the port which is connected to router's first port, I will connect that, convert that port, make that port member of VLAN A. Then second port I will make the member of VLAN B. Third port I will make the member of VLAN C, so that the port will belong to that VLAN from the router, for the router. So this configuration first we will do on switch. So I will open this switch where these 3 ports are connected. Now first interface fast Ethernet 0/10. I'm going to 0/10. This is what 0/10, and this is, I have decided that I will give this port to VLAN A. So I will change this to switch port mode access, and then switch port access VLAN 2. VLAN A is number for the VLAN A is number 2. VLAN ID is 2. Then the next port is Fast Ethernet 0/20. Now this 20, I will give this 20 for VLAN B. VLAN B ID is 3. So I will make it switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 3. Then the third port is 24 of the switch. So this one will go to VLAN C, that is number 4, ID is 4. So mode access and VLAN number 4. Now this is what is the only configuration we have to do on switch for the traditional VLAN routing. Now after that we will configure the router, and we will configure the router with the IP address of those VLANs, network of those VLANs like VLAN A, B and C. Now this is my IP configurations here. For VLAN A we have a network of 192.168.1.0, and for this network I'm going to configure the gateway IP of 192.168.1.100. This gateway I'm going to configure it on the router port which is connected to this VLAN A, and in this case we have Fast Ethernet 0/0. Then for VLAN B I have used this network 192.168.2.0, and for this network I'm going to use this gateway 192.168.2.100, and that is what I'm going to configure it on this port of router, that is Fast Ethernet 0/1. Same for router for VLAN C, we have a network of 192.168.3.0, and the gateway we are going to use is 192.168.3.100. So we have configured the switch already to make these ports member of these particular VLANs. Then now we will configure the router. What we will configure on the router? We will configure just an IP address, nothing else. We will configure the IP address according to the VLANs, that VLANs network, which is the gateway of these all machines, and then that's it. So I'll go to the router here. First name I'm giving this as my VLAN router 1. Now to show IP route, there is no route, there is no IP address configured, nothing. So I will go to first interface, Fast Ethernet 0/0. Give the IP address. Now what IP address? So we have decided that this IP address will be for VLAN A, and this port is belong to VLAN A. So I will give IP address 192.168.1.100 with this subnet mask, and I will say no shutdown, so it will enable the port. Then I will exit from here and I will go to the other port, Fast Ethernet 0/1, and this port will be for VLAN 2, VLAN B, and here I will give the IP address which will be the gateway for the machines, all the machines in the VLAN B, and that is 2.100 with the default subnet. And again I will say no shutdown so that it will enable. Then I will go for the third interface, that is interface Fast Ethernet 1/0, IP address for the third VLAN which is 3.100, and no shutdown. Now when you check show IP interface brief, I can see all these interfaces and they are connected to their VLANs. from the switch, and they are having these IPs, and these different IPs are for the different VLANs we have, and then these IPs will be the gateway for all the machines inside those VLANs. So the router configurations are done. Now if you see the show IP route, so basically these three networks are connected, whether they are normally they are basically connected directly. So router knows all these networks, so any data comes from any network, for any network, router will definitely forward the data. Now that's it. That is the only configuration we have to do in router. So what we did here, we just changed the switch configuration. We make these ports of the switch which is connected to the router's port, make them member of these particular VLANs. Then I configure the router's port which is connected to the port of the switch which is from those VLANs. Like the port which is connected to VLAN A, I configure this gateway on that port because of this network. For the port which is connected to VLAN B, I configure this gateway. For VLAN C, I configure this IP on the router interface so that it will become gateway for this network. Now when you check, these machines are having the gateway. They know the gateway. So what happened now? What will happen here? When we do the communication, it will send the data to router, and then router will send the data to the other machine. So if I try from this PC1 and try to connect the PC2, which is 192.168.1.2, so I'm getting the reply. Now this is not going through the router. Why? Because it does not need to go to the router, because this IP which I'm pinging is belong to the same network, so no need to go for the router. Now I will try to ping the other machine, other network, like 1.a 2.1. Now this one belongs to the other network, and it is also belongs to other VLAN. So when you ping this IP which is not in the same network, so it will go to router, and now you will see the reply also. So this network is going through the router and getting the reply. It is not going directly, it is going through the router. I will show you in the real time mode, in the simulation mode. Here in this mode we can see how the packet is traveling. So I have already pinged this. Now I will ping it again, and now we'll see how it is moving. So this is the ping request. It has going ICMP request, and this is for this machine PC3. Right now if you can open the packet, you can see this IP to this IP, and for MAC address, this MAC address to this. Now this is the destination MAC address. Basically this destination MAC address is not for PC3, it is actually router's interface, because it has to go through router. Now see where the packet goes. The packet goes to the switch. Now switch will do what? It knows the MAC address of the router, so it will directly forward the MAC address, because previously we have already done the communication. So it knows the MAC address, so it will directly send these to the router, and you see it is going to that port which is connected to this VLAN A. They are very close, so we are not able to see the difference. Now router will do what? Router will check the routing table. It says, okay, that network is connected to my fast ethernet 0/1. So it will forward the data into that port, and with that port it will reach to the switch. Now that port on the switch, that port belongs to VLAN B, so it will reach to PC3. Now it goes to this switch. Now switch will send the data to VLAN B. Why? Because the port which is getting the data is on VLAN B. So it will send the data to VLAN B, and PC3 is in VLAN B. And that is how the data reaches to that machine. And now the reply will go also like that. It goes to the switch, then switch forwarded to the router, router forwards back to the switch, then switch forward back to the machine. and this is how it does. Now first time when it drops the packet, when you do the first time, whenever you send the whenever you do this thing like routing, and when you send the first time ping request, this first packet always drops. Now why it drops? Because of ARP. So if you go for the simulation mode, then you will see that how it is dropping. Let's say if I ping the other network like VLAN C 3.1. Now this one I am pinging first time, so first packet will drop. So I will do it in the simulation mode, and now I will do it in simulation mode. Now see how the first package is dropped. So this is what ping request. It is going for the ping request, and it is going for this machine PC5. Now when it reaches the switch, so switch will not do the broadcast. Why? Because switch knows MAC address interface. So switch forwards the data directly to the router. Now here router is dropping that ICMP packet, and that is why the first ping request drops. Why? Because the router don't know the destination MAC address. It is not in that ARP table of this router. So because router don't know the packet destination MAC address, it will drop this packet, and first it sends the ARP request. You see, this is the ARP request it sends, and this request sends that I need to get the IP. It says that my IP is this, and I want to get the IP of this MAC address of this IP. This is my MAC address, and because I don't know the destination MAC address, it attached the broadcast MAC address. So this ARP request will go to the particular VLAN, and it will reach to all the machines. Now remember, it is for PC5. So it is going here in the VLAN for all the machines. This one is dropping it because the IP is not for this machine, but it is not dropping it because this one is going to reply for with that MAC address. And the request is also going for this switch, because in this switch we have connected with the trunk link. So this one is also having the same VLAN here in this side. In this side it also has the same VLAN C. So the packet will reach that to that machine also. You see, this one is sending the reply, and here also it is sending the broadcast for these two machines. Now they will not reply, only this machine will reply. So this machine is sending the reply. Now reply, it will not go to the broadcast, not go as a broadcast, because now this machine knows the MAC address of this router. So it will send it to that router. Now router knows the MAC address of this PC5. Now next time it is okay here, done. Now next time when the next packet comes, first packet is dropped, the next packet comes, then it will not do the dropping because now it knows the MAC address. So we have to wait for the next packet. This is STP. This is STP. This is STP again. This is switch communications which is going on behind. This is what STP packets. So when we go for simulation mode, it becomes very slow. So the next request, now it comes. The next request is come. Now it will not drop anything. It will go directly to the router, and router will send this to switch in another VLAN. Then it reaches to PC5. Then PC5 send the reply, and it will go to router. Then router will send the reply to the machine. So now the packet will not drop. So only the first packet drops because of ARP. So as we see here, the first package was dropped because of ARP. Now this is the way of traditional VLAN routing. Now why we are saying traditional? Because now we will not afford this. because if we are having 10 VLANs here, so you need to connect 10 links from router to switch. 20, then you have to connect 20. That means we need one port for each VLAN, and it is very difficult to have because the router will have a limit. How much port we can connect on a particular router, it is having a limit. Instead it is a modular router, but still we are not able to connect lots of ports. We need higher end routers, like there are routers of 6600 series which has lots of ports, like switch. So we have some routers like that, but still it is not affordable like to have a multiple port, because not only on the router you need the port, on the switches also you need the port. So we can use the other method, and the other method is called router on a stick. So the next other method is inter-VLAN routing using the router on stick. Router on stick, that means in this inter-VLAN routing using router on a stick, the router is connected to the switch using a single interface. Now because of the problem of previous VLAN routing method is that we need multiple ports on router and again multiple ports on switches. So this method do what? It uses only single link. The switch port connecting to the router is configured as a trunk link, and the single interface on the router is then configured with the multiple IP addresses that correspond to the VLANs on the switch, and this interface accepts traffic from all the VLANs and determine the destination network based on the source and destination IP in the packets. It then forwards the data to the switch with the correct VLAN information. And as you can see in this figure, the router is connected to the switch 1 using the single physical network. Here you can see it is connected with the single physical network. And in this type of inter-VLAN routing, the interface connecting to the router to the switch is usually a trunk link. The router accepts traffic that is tagged from the VLANs on the switch through the trunk link. And on the router, the physical interface is divided into smaller interfaces called sub-interfaces. And when the router receives the tag in traffic, it forwards the traffic out to the sub-interface that has the destination IP address. Sub-interface aren't real interface, but they use the LAN physical interface on the router to forward the data to various VLANs. Now each sub-interface is configured with an IP address and assigned to one VLAN based on the design. This router on stick VLAN routing is, we can say it is same as the traditional way. Only the difference is what? It is using the single link instead of using separate link for different VLANs. So instead of using separate link for each VLAN, this router on stick do what? It uses the single link. It uses the single link. Now what it do here? If I tell you like the traditional way, so it is like this, that again it is physically connected to the single link, but logically it is connected to a separate link for the every VLAN. So how it goes? The same as the traditional way. The IP of this VLAN network, we will configure the gateway on this sub interface. Remember, this is logical interface, not a physical one. I will not configure any IP on this physical interface. I will configure the IP which is the gateway for these VLAN network will be on this logical interface, and the IP of this network, the network IP of this VLAN, I will configure on this logical interface, and that IP will be the gateway for these machines here. So what happened here? When you try to ping from PC A to PC B, so PC A will check that whether the network is the same network which we are, or the network is different. So if the network is different, then it will send the data to router. Now it knows the MAC address of the router, and that MAC address, the IP address of the MAC router, that is a gateway. So it knows this IP of this logical interface. So the data will, it will send the data to that interface. So the data will go to that interface. Now router will receive the data, it will check the routing table, and it says okay, the data belongs to this network, and this network is connected to this logical interface. So it will send the data to this interface, and with the help of this interface it will reach the data to switch from this PC. Now this is like the same traditional way, like traditional routing, inter-VLAN routing is working with the same way, but the same method. But here we have a difference of physical thing. Now here, what is the different here? Instead of using two separate physical link, we are using one physical link which is connected to switch. And what we do here, previously we use separate link for separate VLANs. Now here I am using single link for all VLANs. So because I want this port of the switch to have a connection for all the VLANs, so what I will do here, I will convert this port into trunk, the port which is on switch. Then what happened? The port is member of all the VLANs now. That means the data comes from this port and goes for this port, it can reach to every VLAN. So if the data comes for VLAN 20, then still it can send to 20. If the data comes for 30, then it will send the data to 20 also. It can, because it is a trunk port and it is basically member of all these VLANs. VLAN 20 also, VLAN 30 also. So if the data comes for VLAN 30, so it can send it to 30, and if the data comes for 20, it will send it to 20. So from switch side it is okay. Now what about the router side? So router side we have only physical interface 1. Now we will divide this physical interface to multiple sub interfaces. We can do that. Those sub interfaces are the logical interfaces, but the data will still go through this physical link. There is no link there. There is only physical link available is this. So if the data goes through this logical interface, it will go to this single port. If the data goes for this logical interface, still it will go from the same link. So we divide this link into two logical interface. Let's say this is logical port 20 and this is logical port 30. Now in this VLAN routing design, we have to configure some extra thing on this router. Previously we did not configure anything on router. We just connect the interfaces, we only give the IP addresses and start the interface. That's it. But here we need to configure something here. Now what we have to configure? Now for example, when the data comes from PCA, it is from VLAN B, VLAN 20 it is coming. So when it reaches to trunk port, so trunk port knows that we have to send it to everyone. So it will send it to router here with this port. So VLAN 20 data comes to router. Now router don't know anything about IP, it knows about the MAC address. So MAC address is this physical interface MAC address. So it will send it to that MAC address. Data reaches to the router. Now router will check that the data is coming for which network. Which network? That means the data is coming from this logical interface. So data is coming from this logical interface. That means it is coming from this logical port. Now router will accept the data. Now it will check the data that where to send the data. So it checks the routing table. It says okay, I have to send it to this network. Now this network is connected to this logical interface. Interface 30. So router will send it to this logical interface, but physically it is the same link. So when the router sends the data to the same link, so it will reach to the switch here, and the switch will receive the data on the same trunk port. Now switch has to decide the data is for VLAN 20 or VLAN 30, because router has done the job and it done the job based on IP address, but switch does not know the IP address. Switch knows only the MAC address. So how it will know? The switch will know that where to send the data, in which VLAN, VLAN 1, VLAN 20 or VLAN 30. Now for that we have to configure the router. That means we have to configure the router to tag the VLANs. That means we have to configure the router, these logical interface of router. That means we will configure that if any data comes and goes with this logical interface, so tag them with VLAN ID 20. This extra configuration we have to do on these routers. So we create the logical interface, we assign the IP on that logical interface, enable the interface, and we will say the interface that tag VLAN ID 20 on this interface. That means any data coming and going on this interface, that data belongs to VLAN 20. So whenever router sends any data on this network, on this logical interface, it will tag it VLAN ID 20. And for this logical interface, we will say the router, we will configure the router to tag it with VLAN ID 30. So whenever any data comes or go, it will tag the data with VLAN ID 30. So when the data goes out from this router, and if it is coming out from this interface, logical interface, so it will has a VLAN tag or VLAN ID as 30. So when switch receives the data, it will receive on the same port. Now router will check what is the VLAN ID. If it is 30, then it will send it to this side. And if it is 20, then it will send to this side. So only the extra configuration we have here, apart from that traditional VLAN routing, is that to create create logical sub interfaces and configure that interfaces to tag the data with the VLAN ID. And on the switch side, we just have to convert the port which is connected to the router into trunk port. That's it. So that is what the configuration, and that is how it works. So how it works? Very simple. Router do what? Router is doing the tagging. It is adding the VLAN ID into the data. So whatever data it is sending on the particular logical interface, it will tag the data with that VLAN ID, so that switch understands that the data belongs to which VLAN. And in this way, we can work with the single link and we can add multiple VLANs. Like no matter your switch has 20 VLAN, 30 VLAN, 100 VLANs, you can create millions of virtual logical interfaces, sub interfaces on switch, on router. So all interfaces like one sub interface for one VLAN, one interface for one VLAN, but physically it will use only one link. Now only requirement for the link, physical link, is to have a minimum 100 Mbps speed. If your router has a link, has an interface which is 10 Mbps speed, then you are not able to configure it. Also your router interface must support .1q encapsulation trunking algorithm. Otherwise you are not able to configure. So mostly the 100 Mbps link of the Ethernet port supports .1q encapsulation. So this is how it works. Now we'll see how we can configure it. So now what I did, I remove all the previous connections, and what I did here, I will use the physical connection only from fast Ethernet 0/0 of router to the switch fast Ethernet 0/24 port. Now I have only one port, one connection from router to switch. Then I will divide this physical connection of router to virtually 3 connections. So logical connection I will create fast Ethernet 0/0 dot. So if you want to create the logical interface, we will create with giving dot. Now after dot you can give lots of numbers are there. So I'm using number 2 for VLAN A, number 3 for VLAN B, and number 4 for VLAN C. So I will create this logical interface with these names, and I will use this gateway IP on those interfaces, logical interfaces. And also I will tag them. That means I will configure the interface for tagging the router, tagging a data with the VLAN ID, the VLAN ID which belongs to that particular VLAN. So VLAN A belongs to VLAN ID 2, VLAN B is VLAN ID 3, VLAN C is VLAN ID 4. So the first configuration is to configure this switch port number 24 as a trunk. So first I will go to this switch, and I will go to the port, or first you will check the port, show interface fast Ethernet 0/24 switch port. So this one is right now operational mode is static access mode, and this is also access mode. Operational is access mode, and it supports the trunking protocol is what .1q, but it is not working as a trunk. So I will change it. So and also it is belong to VLAN 1, default VLAN. So I will go to that port, interface fast Ethernet 0/24, and then I will change the port into trunk mode, trunk. This is done. This is only configuration we have to do on switch. Now this is trunk port administratively or operationally. So now it is working as a trunk. Now I will go to router. So all the configuration we have to do on router. So what I will do on router first. First I will reload the router so that it will remove the previous configurations. So I'm reloading the router for removing the previous configurations so that I can do the new configuration. So we will check show running config. So all the configurations are now removed. Now I will do the fresh configuration. Config terminal, host name. This is my virtual router, virtual VLAN router. VLAN router 1. Now I will go to the physical interface first. So interface fast Ethernet 0/0. This is a physical interface which we are going to use for our VLAN routing. Now first I will do what? I will just enable the port. That means I'm enabling the port. I'm not doing any configuration. I'm not assigning any IP address on this port. I'm just enabling it so that the port will get enabled physically. So the port is enabled. And we can see the port is now enabled. And now what? I will exit from here. So I enable the port and I exit from this physical interface configurations. Now I will create logical interface. So I will give command interface fast Ethernet 0/0. Now this is what a physical interface. Now I will give dot, and then I can give any number between. If I give question mark, you can see how many interface you can create. So I can give a number in between 0 to this, and you can see it is million of number, and that means I can create these numbers of interface, logical interface, sub interface. You can use any number now because you have lots of numbers. So I will use numbers without, so I don't want to have a confusion, so I will use the number, the same number which I have for the VLAN. So this port I'm creating for the VLAN 2, which is VLAN A. So I will give the number 2. It is not necessary, you can give any number. I'm just using it for that to avoid the confusion. Now as soon as I press enter, the port is up because the physical port is already enabled. And then you will see you are in sub interface mode. Previously when you go to the physical interface, it shows if, but when you are in sub interface, it will show sub if. Now what I have to do here, I have to configure the IP address that belongs to the VLAN network, which is in our case for VLAN A, it is 192.168.1.100, and I will configure the interface to tag the data for VLAN 2. That means any data which is going out of this interface, that must be tagged with VLAN ID 2. So I will give command encapsulation first. First I will give encapsulation .1q. So encapsulation .1q, that means I am saying the interface that whenever you send a data from this interface, encapsulate with this .1q trunking protocol. And if I give question mark here, it says specify the VLAN ID. That means when it encapsulates the data with the .1q protocol, then which VLAN ID it will attach to the data. So whatever data going out of this logical interface, this is for VLAN 2. So I will give VLAN ID 2. Then I will assign the IP address. Which IP address is used on this VLAN, all the machines of that VLAN 2 as a gateway. And the IP address is 192.168.1.100 with default subnet. We don't have to give no shutdown because the port is physically already running. See, if I give no shutdown, nothing happens because it is already enabled. Now I will exit from here. So this is how I configure one interface, same as I will configure other two logical interface for the other two VLANs, VLAN 3 and VLAN 4. So same. Interface fast ethernet 0/0.3 I will create for VLAN 3. So encapsulation .1q 3 I will give. Then IP address will be 2.100 for that VLAN. No shutdown, no need. Again, nothing happens. Exit. Now I will create next sub interface for VLAN 4. Again I will give the encapsulation .1q. This time it will be for VLAN ID 4. Then IP address will be for that VLAN 3.100. Don't have to give no shutdown. And this is the configuration we do on the router. So if you check show IP interface brief, now you can see here that this is the physical interface. It is also up, but it is not assigned with any IP address because I am using this interface to create these three logical interfaces. Those are also up and those are using these IP addresses, and also they are using the encapsulation .1q. And this is the configuration we do on router. That's it. We don't have to do anything else. We can check show run configuration and we can see the information detail. that we configure these interfaces. Physical interface, we did not configure any IP address. On these logical interfaces, we configured with this IP and we configured this encapsulation for the particular VLANs. We have done with it. Now we will check how is it communicating or not. So again, the communication will be the same communication just like the traditional way. So if I try to ping any machine from here, now still it will ping. So this is its own VLAN, it is pinging. Now if I try to ping the other VLAN, PC5, it will also give the reply from router. And we got the reply. First, packets are dropping because of ARP. Then next time when you do the ping, it will not drop any packet and you will see the reply. 2.1 for VLAN B. So it will also send me the reply. So I am pinging from VLAN A to VLAN B and VLAN C. First packet is dropping because of ARP, but the rest of the packets are giving me the reply. So this is how we do configure the router on stick. What is the benefit of this? Working of this is also same as the as we have done in the traditional VLAN routing. Only the difference here is what we don't need multiple interfaces, multiple links to connect from router to switch. It needs an extra configuration but saves a lots of things.